Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, it's Thursday, June 17th at 11:28 a.m. Yesterday meant a lot, and it needs to resonate with more and more people, especially new participants in the crypto space. Um, People think there's free money. People think there's easy money. People think people trust. Trust needs to be earned. Titan, no doubt, destroyed probably immense capital of people's life savings for a stupid asset that was created 2 weeks ago. The most ridiculous reality. The biggest gamble I've ever seen. What? Because they were able to amplify the percent yield because of strategic monetary policy ideology. It's creative. There's experimentation. And I always say, if you're going to gamble the shit out of something, only 1%, less than 1%. But I'm sure people went full degenerate. You know, I think about my kids. I think about bank accounts of persons not as fortunate myself that haven't been working for decades. Imagine a $500, $1,000 bank account. They worked all summer to save it, and they allocate the capital to these insane assets they think will free them from financial repression. There's no easy path, and gambling is wrong. I will not teach my kids to gamble. I will teach my kids to accumulate wealth, to save, like my father and my grandfather and my great grandfather. You work and save your money, and you deploy it in a respectful manner with honor and dignity and logic and reason to systems that have history and precedence and are worthy of your trust. They have proven themselves in some regard. You don't deploy capital, especially excess capital, to something that has yet to prove itself. You don't. And folks that watch my stream, I hope it wasn't too capital destructive. But that thing went to zero. I feel just pure empathy. It's painful watching what happened. But that's part of the title of the stream. And it's part of the story that I tell. And I folks could say that my story is heavily invested in a very specific asset or a very specific platform, which is Curve. But this very specific platform has been in operation for well over a year before DeFi summer, has billions in custody, has expanded, which means the pools have been able to grow vertically, horizontally. Vertically would be the liquidity in the pools. So they've been able to expand horizontally. It's not without incident. It's just that they have established themselves as a rinse, reuse, repeat process of horizontal expansion. And clearly, the vertical expansion is facilitated by their monetary policy, which literally just draws in liquidity hand over fist. It's just an extraordinary opportunity. Anyway, ninth wonder of the world, be the bank. Today's episode is sponsored by Change Angel, the non-custodial swap exchange for social good. Stop depositing on exchanges, not your keys. Not your keys. Not your crypto. Non-custodial DeFi or nothing at all. Bam, let's pop it over to the main screen and see who's in the stream. A lot of folks today. Always a pleasure. Helder, afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your clarity. Indeed, James in the stream. Hickam in the house. Ali, know the boss. Do not say boss did not warn you. Yeah, I'm not one of those guys. I feel bad for folks and I want to help. And and my strategy is right for me, and it's not right for everyone. There's no reason not to hold Ethereum and Bitcoin and Matic and execute on the Polygon network and the yield opportunities between Aave and Curve and try pools incentivized on Polygon. These are great, incredible opportunities. Aave is established. Curve is established. Uniswap is established. Sushi is established at this point, owned by one of the world's largest derivatives exchanges. Interestingly enough, XSushi is the only asset, excuse me, that is remotely comparable to business model structure that I deploy with Curve. XSushi is a revenue share asset. Doesn't produce nearly the same amount of revenue. Sushi doesn't nearly have as interesting of a monetary policy, but conceptually it's comparable. I can't think of any other assets that are platform revenue share. I mean, where the hell is Uniswap, where uni holders get a portion of the transaction fee revenue? What are they doing? I don't know why Uniswap. I don't know why Uniswap is the largest AMM. I think it's short-sighted. It's going to be interesting when Tripool is established and they review the algorithm's functionality and they're able to scale horizontally. Because once Curve is able to scale horizontally, maybe there's a UI refresh in the works. All I know is they got billions of dollars of capitalization at this point, all generated organically. So they have the capital for employees, staff, work, design, everything. So imagine a UI redesign and they scale the volatile asset pool algorithm horizontally. And I read in the document, not the forum, but the, where they post the topics of conversation. Anyway, the DAO, they're close to releasing the permissionless pool creation functionality, and that's it. That's going to just be that's the Uniswap. Anyone could create a pool on Uniswap, and there'll be this. If that's the same thing with Curve, where you could vote for incentives, which is like a Bancor function. Bancor, you vote for incentives applied to a particular pool. I mean, this whole space is seriously just powerful. I mean, Bancor is a big deal. Small percent of the portfolio, but their monetary policy is extraordinary. Anyway, let me go through the comments. I ramble a lot. Ding ding. Hey Noah and Frez, my friend now has got herself on Convex. What a success considering she's based in China. Permissionless global worldwide. As long as you have an exit ramp for gains, like fiat gains or what, I use GUSD because I'm in the States with Gemini. So I literally just swap for GUSD. I send GUSD to Gemini and it's dollars. And I just extracted a fair amount of money to pay taxes. And it was easy. In 2 days, I got an ACH with what I extracted. And next year, the IRS is going to get another payment because I have to pay taxes on the money I used to pay taxes. How about that shit? And that's easy to manage because if managing it like a business, deposits into the bank account are capital gains. And since they were realized capital gains, they were actually untaxed realized capital gains because it's for fiscal year 2021. So in fiscal year 2022, those realized gains will be taxed. Grants in the house, always a pleasure. Hickam Iron Finance, my gosh. Yeah, don't do it, guys. I mean, I did a little bit of office hours yesterday, and I really need to do more. But new folks shouldn't be buying assets. Should be deploying capital. There's two of the most powerful things in history right now in DeFi that don't exist in legacy finance. Compound interest that's not pathetic, meaning you could actually get real compound interest, not from like a bank that's just pathetic numbers because the system is in the process of collapsing. Um, and entire money market revenue share. It's not a money market curve, but it's more like a forex market. Imagine if Aave facilitated some sort of redirection of yield to Aave stakers. Oh man, that would be crazy. I mean, a good reason for Curve not being significantly appreciative is urine. Urine drives the price down, just collapses the price. You know, this price action right here is not actually here. You can actually see where um, the monetary policy of the protocol started to kick in. So this was basically bootstrapping phase when they launched. And urine just drove the price down, just dump, drove the price down. But what happened was the monetary policy reached the inflection point where it can no longer depreciate because it's just too powerful. There's a floor. The floor exists because it generates revenue and people want to buy it because they're literally just increasing their revenue pretty much proportional to the amount of curve they have. You have to you have to maintain your percent share ownership of ultimately the VE curve position, your percent share ownership of the entire curve supply, lock supply. But that's what happened down here. We had a fake out down here, and then bam. You know, the nature of the asset realized. And clearly there's a massive floor down here. And it's far from zero. That's way down. So it's a very powerful asset. Right now, this is a one heck of a trend formation. It's a falling wedge coming off bullish momentum. If anything, this is shaping up to be a fat cup and handle. Bloop, bloop. But this is a falling wedge, no doubt where we are. It's a bullish trend formation. There's no reason to think it can't break down. I mean, it could always break down. I got the fib up. I don't know why it's not. I mean, you got the, what is that? The 0.5 right here. But this is like a pastry, one of those pastry tubes where you put the icing on a cake. This is incredible. It getting to such a tip, such a compression of price action. So I like the way this chart looks. Let me keep the comments going. Heirloom be the bank. Howdy. Hickam 2 billion. Oh my God, what a tragedy. Brian finally got into a live stream. Thanks for being generous with your wealth of knowledge. No, you're very welcome, guys. I hope it helps. You know, I don't tell people what to do. What I do is I share my stories of my experience. And literally, I tell you guys that there's plenty of opportunities on Polygon. There's opportunities right now on Phantom. Solana has probably a fair amount of opportunities, and it's all about opportunity cost, you know. And it would take me time to understand the Solana ecosystem. Time, I mean, I could deploy on Phantom as pretty easily, but curves on Phantom, curves on Polygon, curves on Ethereum. So basically, executing on the curve narrative that I talk about, I'm on those platforms, generating revenue from those platforms, the transaction fees on those platforms. So I think the curve narrative really hits cross chain. Hey, everybody, sending out good vibes to anyone reading this. Thanks for your content, Noah. We can do better. 65 people in the stream, 19 likes. We can do better. Eren's in the house. Heirloom, smash the likes as you arrive. Thank you, my friend. Eren, Ren on Solana. Yeah, Ren's everywhere. I mean, we've known that since last year. This is where they were heading. They've executed on their ideas. Ren VM has been solid for over a year now. For myself, it's deployed. They're just sitting and working and working. And in a couple of years, I'll look back and I'll watch Ren VMs be an entire business. Very nice. Got out in the nick of time. Thanks for being skeptical on iron. I'm happy to hear that, Heisenberg. Matthew, we can do better. We always can do better. Brian, what do you think of the curve tripool? I hear it'll be added to convex in a matter of days. Lovely. I haven't heard about it being added to convex, but what I care most about is they're incentivizing the crap out of it, and that means more transaction fees. More transaction. I got maybe I'll throw my Ethereum into it, but Small drop in the bucket compared to the yield I make with my curve position. And I'll be getting transaction fees from that pool. That's the beauty of curve, V curve, and particularly CVX CRV, which is much more powerful than YVE CRV. Um, transaction fees. You're literally owning a part of the platform. Oh, this is the only asset really in the crypto space that is comparable to dividend bearing stock, which has a mathematic monetary policy with a REIT. They could issue shares, they could do whatever the fuck they want, but Curve has a defined monetary policy written into their smart contract. It's a disinflationary, decaying inflationary algorithm. And with the introduction of convex, it's net deflationary. You can always go over to here, you go to the Dow. Let's check this out. This is interesting. You go to the stats, you go to the daily locks. Let's see how it's doing. No, not overwhelmingly net deflationary over the last couple of days, but that's a hell of a spike up here. I wonder what it's going to look like next month. And this is a great page to look at for statistics. Food for thought. Dow.curve.fi/daily locks. Got an interview tomorrow with a crypto protocol. Got a business operations profile and big tech experience. Any tips? Um, honesty. Honesty. Be yourself. And over the here, there's two interesting stories I could say. When I first graduated from college, I went to the career office, and I had an electrical engineering degree, and I went into the career office. And they said, "What do you want to do?" And I told them, "I want to make money." Yeah, that didn't work from a career office standpoint. And then after years of pizza delivery with an electrical engineering degree, because there was no jobs back in like '07 in engineering, that was a time of realization. I had to figure out my life, early 20s. Um, I remember doing one of my first interviews, and it was a job for like SharePoint, Microsoft SharePoint, and I had no idea what the fuck that was. So, point being, I guess one of the question was why? What could I do? Why do I want to do this? And I could figure out the software. I could do what's asked of me, and I get things done. People don't like to say no to me. I said that during an interview. At the time, that probably came out wrong. Um, definitely is not something to say during an interview. But now that I'm older, there's two things that have rang true. Both those experiences were valid statements. What do I want to do with one? What do I want to do with work? I want to make money. Of course, that's pretty much the only reason anyone wants to work, unless they have a passion job. And I found my passion job, and that's important. Most people don't find a job that they have passion in, and that's a tragedy. And the other one was most people don't like to say no to me. I didn't mean that in a bad way. People don't like to say no to me because we work well together. We're constructive. There's synergy. Rational people ask a question, you get an answer, and you proceed constructively. People shouldn't like to say no to anyone that's rational. So I look back at that interview, which crushed me. I was a kid at the time. It was one of my first trying to get a real job outside of pizza delivery with an engineering degree. And I said that. I was very upset for a long time. But 15 years later, I'm happy I said that. It's the truth. Why say no to people? Work constructively. People don't like to say no to me, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way. Because I don't ask for stupid things. I ask for compliance, help, support, to do my job, to run my business, to take care of my family. Anyway. Kenji, good morning, Coin Fam. A pleasure. Hickam, Curve is paying Curve now on their Polygon pool. Ooh, juicy yield. Afternoon from the UK, CryptoTube, a pleasure. Peter made another stream. Going to bed really late has its perks. Yeah, I understand. I know the feeling. I was up late last night myself. How much curve do I need to utilize the booster is all relative to the size of my position. It's all relative to the size of your position. Talking about boost directly on curve, it's a lot of curve. I don't have max boost on a lot of positions, and I got 50,000 VE curve. Um, Convex is the way to go with regard to community boost. On Convex, you get community boost. It's a communal protocol. So you get the community boost, and Convex holders get a part of it, but you're going to make more capital than you would deploying the capital directly on Curve because you're participating in the community boost. Boost. I like that word, boost. I survived the Curve or Convex? Convex, Wesley. Peter, I survived the Titan collapse, somehow managed to escape with my initial capital. You were right again. Never again. No mo FOMO. We can do better. 79 people in the stream, 25 likes. We can do better. Instant withdrawal from USDC to USD on Coinbase if withdrawing through PayPal. There's your fiat exit ramp. Isn't that awesome? If I'm operating on Polygon, small profile, 5 to 10G without a curve, does it make financial sense to deploy my rewards in the complex, or is gas going to be too high? Gas is going to be pretty hard hitting. 27 Gwei is probably $50 a transaction, give or take. This is major consideration. If smaller portfolios, there's a lot of opportunity cost operating on Ethereum L1. And Polygon strategies are very viable. I just I seek out the best opportunity, and I have no allegiance to the position, and I will move to another opportunity if something better comes along. And that's the way we all should act. But there's plenty of ways to capitalize on the Polygon network, and we've discussed many of them. Ave still incentivized, Curve is incentivized. There's a lot of capital being thrown around. Just stay away from the garbage. Stick to the majors. Aave, Curve, Sushi, and other new protocols that are escalating and growing and showing that they can be trusted. Isn't Kyber on Polygon? I think yesterday they announced that. They're overwhelmingly trustworthy. Those are the protocols you trust, not brand new Iron Finance and got destroyed, utterly destroyed. Adam, hey Noah, what do you think of the chances are that the future financial system isn't built on Ethereum, actually ends up something like ICP Definity? No idea. I have no idea what those things are. All I know is, can I transfer to it? Can I deploy capital in it? I hear the name, I see it on the top market cap, but I don't think it does anything. Does it do anything? Market cap means jack shit. TVL is everything. Does it have critical mass liquidity? Does it have a money market? Does it have DApps? Does it have a capacity for users to execute transactions capitalistically or opportunistically? Is there critical mass monetary velocity? Just because it has a high market cap doesn't mean jack squat about it. It means nothing. I care about financial systems, monetary systems, which is like, I'm excited for Cardano to actually have some sort of monetary system eventually, but right now it has literally nothing. So when it does have a financial system, that's when I seek out opportunity. If there's an opportunity to migrate capital to a better opportunity, I'm going to do it. I don't care if it's on Cardano or if it's on Solana or Avalanche or Phantom or Polygon or Ethereum L1. But I would never own those assets, and I don't have a large Ethereum position anymore, guys. And I don't have a large Bitcoin position. There's way too much opportunity cost associated with Bitcoin, and there's way too much opportunity cost associated with Ethereum. I'm more interested in the protocols that are built on these platforms, and especially protocols that span cross-platform. That's a big deal. Matthew, Curve coming to Polygon next week. Whether it's next week, this morning, it's coming. Hi, Noah. Hope you're doing well. A pleasure, Liv. Robert, good morning, Noah. Late again. It's all good. The videos are here. There's probably over 300 and change at this point. A lot of videos on YouTube. Adam, going on from that, Curve is on Ethereum. So is Curve on Solana? If it's not, it inevitably will be. I mean, that's a different. It's not an EVM compatible chain. Um, Is there any way it could tap into Dfinity and other blockchain networks too? Of course, it could be anywhere. It's a protocol. All it needs is the smart contracts to be ported to the relevant language. But there's zero reason for them to port anything to a network that has no monetary velocity. And there's a lot to get to monetary velocity. So Dfinity means nothing, and ICPs has nothing, and Cardano has nothing. They don't even have critical mass liquidity. You're not talking about market cap. We're talking about TVL. Someone taking dollars and moving it to a money market on the platform. The fundamental components of a functional financial system, in this instance, a digital financial system. And how do we understand the properties of a financial system? We look to the legacy financial system. We look to the way we understand fiat currencies and various sovereign fiat currencies around the world. We look to metrics such as the Fred M2, and we look at velocity and how the velocity in the legacy financial system is completely imploding. But what we see in the digital financial system is borrowing and lending that's through the roof because of the opportunity. And once you have velocity, it's a self maintaining feedback loop, a positive feedback loop, because the presentation of opportunity draws in more and more capital, seeking out more and more opportunity. It's a positive feedback loop that has momentum, either growing or being destroyed. So obviously, in the legacy financial system, it's being destroyed, which is only going to amplify the monetary velocity in the DeFi space, because anything that's even remotely good is going to be better than the legacy system, which has velocity that's being destroyed. So that's the deal. That's the deal. I love these the platforms, but there's no reason whatsoever to hold stuff like Phantom, Solana, Cardano. Well, actually, there's more of a reason to hold Cardano than there is a lot of other assets. The staking. Um, so, but not right now for me. But because it doesn't have a functional financial system. But if it did, then I would probably think about a stake position. For instance, Ethereum, I'm thinking about my entire position on Ethereum is centered around the notion of a stake position to own a part of this securing the network, and I'll generate revenue from that in the coming years. But I see no reason for myself to take a Cardano position until they actually have anything that resembles a functional financial system. So right now it's just stagnant equity. 5% on Cardano and the volatility of the asset. I would never take a position ever. It just doesn't make any logical sense because I have no interest in speculative assets. I have no interest in watching asymmetric appreciation of an asset. I could care less if Cardano goes to $50,000 a coin. I could care less if Ripple goes to $587 a coin. What I care about is how much damn money I make on a weekly basis. So if I could collateralize an asset, if I could borrow against it, but even if I could use like Cardano or XRP as collateral, what, I'm only going to be able to borrow 33% of my capital, about a third with sufficient over collateralization, and I'm going to put that money to work earning 30%. So that's 30% on 30% is 10%. I'm going to be earning 10% on a volatile asset? No way. That's called not only opportunity cost, that's called excessive risk. So that's my rationale there. I don't want to make as much money as possible because there's risk in that approach. What I want is a weekly paycheck so I could cover my bills and focus on work on my terms. I work because I want to, not because I have to. And that is freedom. That is financial freedom. That is psychological freedom that changes your life. Working on your terms changes everything. More coin. KG, think Wi-Fi dumping farms CVX will keep CVX price suppressed? Sure, but what do I know is that CVX is a revenue share just like Curve. The price of CVX has become irrelevant to me. Let it depreciate, let it appreciate. I'm still going to be earning the same quantity of CVX CRV independent of the price of CVX because the yield that CVX gives you is just proportional ownership of the total supply that's locked, and that gives you rights to the amount of CVX CRV that is allocated to CVX stakers. So the dollar denominated value of these assets is highly misleading. And I have effectively retrained my mentality to not look at the dollar denominated value, looking at the quantity of coins that I'm getting on a weekly basis. Now, obviously, it's nice when you look at three curve because I'm taking that as salary, or at least accumulating that as salary. Um, MA, hello, enjoying the stream. Love the curve idea, but I was not able to see how to get traction transaction fees on Polygon. That's correct. But you're able to provide liquidity. So there's two ways to be the bank. You can provide liquidity to a money market or a forex market or an AMM, and you're going to get a fraction of the transaction fees of the pool position. But only XSushi and Curve distribute transaction fees to owners of the protocol, which is basically like a dividend bearing instrument as it would be talked about in the stock market, like a REIT, where revenue is distributed to shareholders, so to speak. So that's what the difference is. Instead of getting revenue just on a particular pool, VE curve holders, CVX, CRV, and are getting revenue from all pools. So as the liquidity increases and the transaction volume increases, holders of V curve and CVXCRV are going to get increased revenue over time. And I could just imagine a curve going, check this out. $197 million a day. It was at $360 million yesterday, give or take. Can you imagine at a 3 billion, $30 billion a day? Now you're talking some serious revenue for CVXCRV and VECRV holders. MICMON losing 15% per year. Is that inflation, debasement value? What is that, and where does it come from? The Chapwood Index had metrics on the internet for years, and they were removed when the pandemic started. So they were running at about 8 to 12%, depending on where you were in the country, and that was before 2020. So if 8 to 12% was the average debasement of your currency, meaning the inflation of the goods and services that you interact with are increasing at a rate of 8 to 12% per year on average, after 2020 and a 25% debasement of all circulating US dollars, yeah, that's going to be higher than 8 to 12%. So, 15%, give or take. Chapwood Index literally went all around the country, got prices of goods and services, deodorant, coffee, toothpaste, everything. Literally just the prices of goods and services. And that's how they calculated that value. You could Google Chapwood Index. Maybe you could find some old data that's on there. But yeah, 15% per year is the number that is probably either correct or I don't know. It could be more. Maybe it's less, but shit, I don't see why it's not like more. There's literally no trust left whatsoever in the U.S. fiat system. Uh, D says, how would you estimate the probability the curve isn't a major player in 4 years? Isn't locking curve for 4 years better on its generating revenue so far down the line? Just speculative. Well, you're getting revenue immediately. You're getting revenue the second you take that position. Um, so isn't a major player, then you liquidate the position. That's why when Curve launched, there was only VE Curve, but now you have tokenized VE Curve with CVXCRV and YVECRV. So if it's not a major player in 4 years, I liquidate my position and I move to another opportunity. Your allegiance is to your portfolio, not to an asset. As of right now, I currently see opportunity cost everywhere other than pretty much CVX CRV. And the second that changes, you change with it. because you respect your portfolio and you're not taking degenerate risks. You are not Titan buyers, 84 people of you, 32 likes. We can do better. Not too clear on taxes, but a reviewing curve. Convex is paying out dividends are we liable for income tax. You're liable for income tax always. If you're pressing a claim button, you're liable for income tax. Period. Um, Adam, the quality of having people not liking to say no to the quality of having people not liking to say no to. Do you feel like you were born with that, or is that something that evolved? Um, I don't say it from a sense of arrogance. I say it from I like to work with people. I like people. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I trust people before I distrust them. I like to converse. I like to have dialogue. I like to articulate. Why would someone want to say no? And if they say no, great. They said it for a reason. And then we continue the dialogue. If something needs to get done, that's irrespective of a no or a yes. It still needs to get done. So I don't know, maybe that wasn't the best way to express the sentiment I was feeling at the time. Sure as hell didn't work out well. But there's an art to communication. Semantics are very complicated. The meaning of words and semantics means when I think of a word and I'm saying a word, it means something to me, imparts a feeling to me, and for someone else, may not impart the same meaning or the same feeling. So semantics are very complicated, and linguistic communication is not a trivial act. It's complicated to communicate effectively. Anyway. Adam, with CVX CRV, do you still get ability to vote on curve proposals? No, not currently. We'll see what they have in mind. So I have a V curve position too, which I used to vote, which is tiny compared to my CVX CRV position. Um, Brian, thanks for answering my question. Since the tripool is using volatile assets, why are folks concerned about impermanent loss? Why is impermanent loss concerning? The reason it's concerning is because people want to make as much money as possible. Need retraining. It's not about making as much money as possible. That's what leads to failure, almost always. What's powerful about the position is it gives you exposure to three assets, and you're going to be getting compound interest denominated on those assets. If you're in your 20s and you look back in 10 years, that sounds like the position I want my capital in. Not a bank account in dollars, but damn tripool earning 10% yield or whatever the heck it's earning, right? 18% yield. Damn right that's where I want my capital. I would take every dollar I had and put it into the tripool, which would give me exposure to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and dollars. Bitcoin and Ethereum obviously have the potential to asymmetrically appreciate, earning compound at 18% or whatever the hell. It's volatile compound yield, which will fluctuate. But yeah, wow, that's a heck of a number. Um, Heisenberg, please check out Charles Hoskinson on Lex Podcast. Yeah, I watched him. He has a great mind. I like him. He, you could get the sense that he's probably annoying in some regards, but he's really, really smart. So I already saw that video. Um, I like the way he approaches a lot of conversation. My sentiment regarding taking a position is as a value allocator. It has nothing to do with anything other than my capital and me seeing excessive opportunity cost. But the way he talks is quite impressive. He articulates. He's clear. His ideas are thoroughly expressed. Um, he, It's not for him to sell anyone on owning an asset. That has nothing to do with it. The asset has properties. The asset has metrics and data, and it's not lucrative. So for myself and the way I manage my business, I just have zero interest in deploying capital to the ADA asset. I don't need to just reiterate. I don't need to hear him. I've heard him many times, and I like him very much. But as an entrepreneur, as a capitalist, and me doing what's right to protect my capital, that doesn't. I I'd have no interest in allocating capital to ADA. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever considering my ideology and my business model approach to deploying capital in the crypto space. Dfinity has a bunch of ex-Google employees and looks technically architecturally interesting. Okay, that's cool. Let them make a financial system. Show me 20% yield. Show me revenue sharing opportunities, and I'll put my capital on the network. I have no interest in base layer assets. The only reason I have interest in Ethereum is because I could stake it when Ethereum 2.0 launches, and they'll pay me. I will have interest. I will generate revenue. I don't care if Dfinity goes from 50 cents to $5,000. That is not the game I want to play. I don't want to make as much money as possible. If I make $2,000 a week for my job, I want crypto to give me $2,000 a week. Then my job, I get to enjoy. I could say what I want. I could speak what I want. I don't have to do the job because I'm making my money elsewhere. And now I could be free, free from financial repression, free from restraint on me talking and communicating, saying the things I want to say. That's what I want. I don't want to be ultra rich. I just want to be free. They're closer to near critical mass liquidity. Good. Maybe they got a couple of billion. Once we see like Polygon activity, or Cosmos, where you have dozens, if not hundreds, of D apps being built, and after that, then you have the bridges. You need the bridges. Then once the users start heading over, and you see the critical mass monetary velocity, which is basically a money market, facilitating borrowing and lending. So you can see critical mass monetary velocity on Aave. Aave is the money market, so you really only generate the most amount of monetary velocity from Aave. Look at this, 19 billion dollars, and the market is quite bearish. Might not load because I'm not logged into to nope, it did. So here's monetary velocity is $1 billion in DAI and 800 million is borrowed. That means there's 1.8 billion dollars worth of liability plus debt. So the liability is on the debtor's balance sheet. So double entry bookkeeping. That's everything, guys. 1.5 billion in USDC and $1 billion lent out. This is money creation. It's the same way the banking system works in legacy finance. This is all I care about. So you can have the most incredible team, the most incredible L1 or side chain. It means nothing unless there's a financial system. And speculatively, sure, if you wanted to go 100x on the money, that's a viable strategy that some people like, but that's something that I don't care about. I don't care if something goes 100x. That I need to be able to sleep at night, and I cannot bank on an asset going up and down in value, but I could bank on a weekly revenue stream. Um, Matthew's in the house. Sorry for showing up late, but I'm glad to catch you live. Thanks for everything. You're welcome, Matthew. I'm always here every day, and the videos are always here. Adam started in 2017, has some big name investors. Oh, sounds like a startup company. What about staking Kava? Interesting, but it's on Cosmos, which means is that Cosmos? Yeah, it's Cosmos. But so the bridges, you need the bridges, and you need the infrastructure. Seamless bridges, and that's why Ren is such a big deal, facilitating value cross chain. And that's why Polygon caught fire because the Polygon bridge is wonderful. Mark, I know a curve rewards now on Polygon. Ooh, yeah. Your opinion on Kusama parachains? I'm more interested in Polkadot. I never had a Kusama position, but I do have a Polkadot position. So there's my speculation. I want to see DApp development. Once I see DApp development, bear in mind I also had Polkadot and Cosmos way before my status quo or my current narrative or current value allocation thesis really took root. Those are the good old days. I've had Polkadot since pre the 100 to 1 reverse split. And Cosmos, I bought at like $2. It was like $14 right now, or $12, or whatever it is. Plus, they're yield-bearing instruments, albeit they're staking, so it's derived from inflation. So it's pretty much accounting for debasement. Kenji Heretic Bitboy says Cardano is moon moonies, whatever the fuck that means. That boy maybe has money, but he sure as hell isn't free. He doesn't know how to manage his money, probably. I don't know. Maybe he does. Who am I to criticize someone else? Only God could judge. Reasonable statement. I just don't care about having as much money as possible. If I'm making $2 grand a week for my job, if I can replace that salary with crypto, then I've achieved freedom. I want freedom. I don't want to be ultra wealthy. Bitboy is the prophet. That's crazy sauce. No one's the prophet. All people have is ideas, and people can only really be judged on whether their ideas are good or bad or turn out to be true or false. What are some factors that change the APR of curve staking on convex? You're looking at the dollar denominated value, it's misleading. You got to look at the quantity of coin that you're getting. That is a much better representation of the consistency of the emissions. Mario, hey Noah, do you get more boost by staking to all the pools? Yes, when you stake VE curve, you get boost for all the pools. It's not just one pool. But there's a reason to have VE curve if you want to vote, that retain your voting rights, but CVX CRV is much more lucrative with convex as a derivative asset. I think the derivative asset of VE curve. I think the entire crypto community desperately needs your advice. Everybody is losing sleep gambling based on misconception. I recommend your channel a lot. All aboard Noah Arc of Reason. I need to sleep, and I can't sit there worrying that I'm going to lose my money. And I don't care about the principal. If I put $1 million in convex, all I care about is the weekly returns, because that's what produces the freedom, not the principal. Think of it as a purchase. Think of it as you're buying something. You bought something that gives you weekly revenue? That's crazy. That's DeFi. That changes everything. Jackson, I've learned to love impermanent loss thanks to you. I hold relatively little naked Ethereum while my Polygon's DEX are yielding 20 to 100% while unstable F pair. Sick yield plus downside protection. Perfect position on my book. Now you're talking downside protection because it's paired with USDC. You're getting yield, which is your weekly revenue in theory. It's probably auto compounding in most regards. But you're going to make money on the upside. It'll go up in price. It won't go up as much as holding naked Ethereum, but it's going to go up in price. But it's going to mute the volatility, producing revenue. So you're converting volatility and transaction fees into a revenue stream. What an extraordinary new world. You can't do anything like this in legacy finance. So literally just a simple LP position in an AMM that everyone glances over because it's so 2020. Oh, it's so 2020 to put USDC and Ethereum in an LP position because you can make 1,000% on Titan. People glancing over the opportunity at hand to achieve financial freedom to pursue degeneracy. That's a tragedy. Greetings from Portugal, my friend. Welcome. A pleasure. A pleasure. Zach, Ren VM on Solana as of today. Boom. Love those Ren VMs. I knew that was a good buy at 6 cents. Ren Solana Bridge just went live. Bam. Adam, do you think this is likely that Convex adds these features in the future? Ability to vote in curve and ability to auto claim and auto compound? Maybe. That means their software platform. We'll see how they iterate. I look forward to it. I hope so. I think those are powerful features. Any interested in Curve F on Sushi Polygon, 109% annualized? Yeah, it's a nice yield. Uh, yeah, there's interest there because the yield is pure CVX. Well, I don't. The only CVX emissions I get are from CVX CRV, whereas CVX Ethereum and Curve CVX CRV, those pool positions will give you pure CVX. Yeah, there's reason to consider those. especially the CVX, CRV, CVX, CRV, CRV pool, because that's just pure curve. And that's pure CVX emissions. So CVX gives more CVX, CRV than CVX, CRV provides CRV. You might have to rewind that one a couple of times. So CVX yields more curve than CVX CRV yields curve. So what's the problem is CVX is volatile. So people are looking at that dollar denominated value. But did you know if CVX loses 50%, you're still going to get the same exact amount of CVX CRV? You're going to get the same amount of CVX CRV because each one CVX is ownership rights to the CVX CRV emissions. The dollar value messes with our minds. Ed Harrison is leaving Real Vision. Sounds like there's a place open for you. Ed's leaving Real Vision. Where the heck is Ed going? That boy started Real Vision pretty well. Started with Real Vision, you know what I'm saying? Where's Ed going? He's probably got something cool going on. I like that. Nice guy. I liked his voice and his ideas. Looking at crypto like a business instead of speculating is literally the difference of me making long term in this space versus flaming out in 6 months. Yeah, someone buying Titan and losing all their money, or buying some stupid micro cap asset and watching it go up 500% and down 300%, you know, that'll drive you nuts. Meanwhile, I go back to Convex and I just get money every week and cut a paycheck and pay taxes, and yeah, that's it. I barely look at the assets anymore. Jake Noah out there saving people. We can do better. 90 people in the stream, 40 likes. We can do better. As always, the Discord forum is a wonderful place to hang out. A lot of people jump in. There's a 3-day free trial, so people could just see what it's like. I mean, literally, it's just the same thing we talk about here, except we got people, all people talking all the time about their ideas, and no mo FOMO, risk off, generate revenue, do things different. You know, you can bring up whatever you want. You can talk about some fancy new asset that's maximum risk, and all of us in the forum will probably say, "No, don't do it." And so it's a great place to get reaction, to get advice and feedback about other people's experiences. Because if you're new to crypto, everyone else has done more, meaning everyone else has more experience. And the best way to gain experience is directly from other people's experience. Last question, Luke. Any tips on how to ignore out the inflation fiat going to zero narrative, sticking to earning yield on USD to avoid aping into crypto assets? Okay, so for anyone new to the crypto space, the only appropriate course of action is dollars. And you start with dollars on Aave. Right here, what I have on the screen. Dollars. You put dollars into Aave. Put dollars into Aave. Just dollars. Don't touch the assets. And you put dollars into Aave. Let me see. I probably have a couple of pennies in here. You literally see your interest in real time. Oh, I'm connected. Oh, I'm not connected to Polygon. Let's go to market. I think I have some pennies in V2. Oh, not connected. Browser. Okay, so I got some pennies in here. Wow, I literally don't even have enough pennies to get fractions of a penny every second. I don't think I. So the point is, you're literally getting real time interest. This number goes up every second of every day. So this is looking at a bank account. It's a bank account. Guys, this is a bank account. If it walks like a bank and talks like a bank, it's a bank. Joe says, you think people trading on BSC are subject to criminal liability? No, no, that's not for me to judge, but I could care less about BSC. I have absolutely zero interest in it. I don't find it interesting at all. Joining the stream for 3 days in a row now. Noah, you're the man. Thank you, Luca. I want to help people do better because I've been there, done that. I know the insanity that goes through your mind about the hopes and the dreams of financial freedom, and you think you put $100 in and it's going to turn into 10 grand or 100 grand or $10 million, and that's not healthy. It's not going to happen. We have to work. There's no free money in this space. But the opportunity is not the opportunity most people think it is. And the opportunity is not the most lucrative opportunity. The opportunity is the most rational opportunity that's the most comparable and analogous to the legacy financial system. And to understand these markets, you have to understand the legacy financial system and understand why it has worked. Because right now it's in the process of basically collapsing. Thank you for the greatest show. Do you have any plans on interest in making a chat with Taiki or others more regular thing? I would love to speak with Taiki more. That boy is on point. Of everyone in the crypto space, Taiki's on point. He has a good mind, and I like to listen to him talk. So anyone that follows me, yeah, he's got more followers than me at this point. So he's doing something right. Taiki's on point. Just saying. Thursday, June 17th, 12:23 p.m. As always, I thank everyone for joining me today. I wish you a wonderful day. Check out the Discord forum if you have time and interest. And smack those likes buttons. Smack that like button. And I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.